We are here with Mark Weber, who runs the website videogamemuseum.com. And Mark, thank you so much for being with us. And we are here with some of your most prized possessions. Tell us a little bit, first off, about the videogamemuseum.com, what it is, what your mission is to accomplish with that website, and then we'll talk about some of the items that we have here in front of us.
All right, absolutely. Thank you for coming by. So I love retro video games, so it's pretty natural to collect them like a lot of people do. I'm here to promote the used collection of retro video games. And so today what I have are some of our legacy pieces. We all know that 3D gaming is on an upswing right now.
It is,
yeah. And starting in 1983, we had the Vectrex, which was a system to my left here, and they had a thing called a 3D imager. It actually was a spinning disc that would allow the user to block their eyes at different times and essentially see a slightly different image.
And I can see the red and blue there on the disc there that would spin, I guess, on that.
So behind that disc are two small eye holes, and at any given time, only one eye can actually see something and is filtered by a particular light. So it works similar to an anaglyphic glasses, but it's spinning. So if you could spin those glasses and add a little technology to it, 1983.
Hopefully nobody got injured. I mean, hopefully there weren't some instances where that disc spun out and chopped somebody's, hit somebody's eye or something like that. Was there a reason why this went off the market? I guess that's what I want to know.
The great video game crash of 1983, of the early 80s. Atari, everyone went under at once. The market was saturated. Unfortunately, despite the fact that I believe this is one of the greatest video game systems on earth, and it could have conquered the world. It could have conquered the world at a different time, a different place.
An example of right thing but wrong time, basically.
Exactly. Okay. And 1987, the original Nintendo in Japan, Famicom actually had what we have for essentially what we have for the Master System here, which was 3D glasses, which are shutter-based and would allow a different eye to see at a different time.
And that's basically, isn't that what the new 3D glasses essentially do? They just shutter-type technology, right?
So if you have glasses for your fancy TV that have batteries in them, that's essentially what it's doing. In the U.S. market, we didn't get the luxury of that for our NES, so I've got, kids or adults can try out Rad Racer or 3D World Runner. Square Enix produced these and had their own 3D anaglyphic glasses that came with it. It didn't really work. It gave us...
It's kind of a gimmick kind of thing, basically?
Yeah. I guarantee you people a headache within about 10 seconds if they want to try it, but it's worth the experience. And then, of course, in about 95, Nintendo produced what was called the Virtual Boy, which actually is a Game Boy. It's a portable gaming console, which was considered one of Nintendo's greatest failures. I
do vaguely remember hearing about it. And this is Nintendo. This is a legitimate big company that brought this to market. And
and you got to hand it to Nintendo. They're trying time and time again to do 3D. Obviously, the 3DS is taking off, so they've got something there. But for about a year, they had this on the market. They couldn't sell it in Japan, which normally seeds most markets. And of course, here in the United States, it didn't make it very far as well. So it's become a collector's piece more than anything. Yeah. This one happens to still work, and it's not bad and a little bit headache prone, of course, but obviously wasn't great enough. Wow. So of course, people are coming by. They're really connecting with these items. It's a lot of fun to see people go on that nostalgia moment and say, "I remember that from being a kid. I played that." And as we talked a little bit before this, you of course have some of those moments yourself. It sounds like.
I do, and that's what really made this booth appealing to me. A lot of these items, as you can see down here, Christina will pan down. I mean, we've got some old school accessories, including the old. Maybe show us some of these NES items here.
So we've got the Nintendo Zapper. We're letting people pose with these. This is a lot of fun to see Gumby or Batman pose with a Power Glove on or a Zapper. So we've had all sorts of people in costume and out of costume posing with them.
And the Power Glove, which I have a vague memory of going to the movie theater and seeing a movie called The Wizard, which displayed, not the best movie out there, but it did star Fred Savage and a very compelling, heartwarming story. And I believe the Power Glove was featured heavily in that movie. Am I correct about that?
You're 100% correct. Okay. Actually, Nintendo sent a rep to this movie to make sure it was shot just right.
Wow, okay. So was that the debut of the Power Glove, along with Super Mario 3, I believe?
I believe you're right on both accounts. And you can remember, of course, the classic quote, "I love the Power Glove. It's so bad,"
Jeez. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Yeah, well, Just keep your power gloves off her, pal, huh?
It was perfect product
So
placement.
bad, it's so good. It's a really good analogy for the movie, really. But yeah.
I've had a lot of people come by and say, you know what? Once one of the kids on the street bought it, it warned all the other kids not to spend their Christmas money on it. You know, because it really it looked cool. It's a great idea. It was the Wii of its time. Before the Wii, this was our motion controller. And if you play Super Glove Ball for the original Nintendo, it's actually not too bad.
Could you go ahead and actually model it for us? Maybe pick it up, put it on, show us kind of how that's strapped on there.
Sure. So it had a sensor bar that would plug into your Nintendo, and generally you'd put it on your floor. And then, of course, this would plug into your sensor bar, and it would communicate through here. But it actually had a tactile. You know, fingers would move with the glove and Super Glove Ball. You could, as you can see, essentially we've got an NES controller built in here, and technically you could.
You could actually use your other hand and
Yeah.
motion.
I don't know how you could coordinate both those at once reasonably.
The Power Glove for your NES. Now you and the games are one. The Power Glove. Everything else is child's play.
They showed, I believe, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You could take a Punch Out. If anyone ever did that, I would love to see a video of it as proof. I think it's just, urban folklore that might be possible.
That's a challenge for the fans who are going to be watching this on the internet.
I would be impressed by people beating any game with the Power Glove, but it's amazing. This is part of our history. Nintendo, once again, they tried it. Eventually, years later, they got it right with the Wii, and they've had huge success with that.
We have a couple other just classic items over here. Of course, the classic original NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, also known as the Famicom over in Japan. We also have a couple other items here. Could you tell us what these are?
Sure. To the right, that's just actually a LCD screen for people to play the original Nintendo. But it's nice for people to have that experience, and a lot of people are showing their kids, Rad Racer or Super Mario Bros. 3 for the first time. We grew up with it, but their kids, their nephew, whatever, had never actually played an original Mario game.
And now with the Nintendo Wii, which has been out for a couple years, and we've heard rumors that there's a successor coming out soon. One of the great things about the Wii is that a lot of the games, not all of them, but a lot of them are ported over so that you can play a lot of those old games on the Wii.
Yeah. I think it's called the Virtual Console. I'm more of a retro gamer. But yeah, you're absolutely 100% right. It's a great opportunity. And one young guy, I thought, hey, let me show him Super Mario Bros. And he says, oh, we actually have this at home. Dad bought it for the Wii. Okay. And so.
But as a true to form old schooler, you would probably argue that there's nothing like holding the old school controller and just playing some Mario. I mean, this is what you would prefer. Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly it. Having the experience, having the blinky frustration of the old Nintendo. Even though we on our website will show you how to refurbish your old games.
Taking out the cartridges, blowing in them. I'm sure that's not advisable. I don't know, but that's what we used to do back in the day, right?
We all did it. But little did we know we're blasting Pepsi and Cheetos inside of these things each time. And not to mention our saliva. Add moisture, metal, and air, and you're going to get corrosion. Yep. And so we have actually a display on the end down here that shows using household cleaners, especially what can't WD-40 do, rubbing alcohol and copper cleaner. Most people have WD-40 or rubbing alcohol around their house, and you can use Q-tips to clean the old games. Yeah. People do a great job just cleaning them up. Here's an example of a really dirty one and some.
So you have sort of a before and after. This is a dirty game. You can see, Christina can maybe zoom in a little bit. You can see the corrosion there on the copper or metal contacts.
Absolutely.
And then below we have the clean version, and on your website you have instructions about how to clean cartridges and things like that.
We've got YouTube videos that show people how to do this. I want people to enjoy their retro games. I don't want them to end up in the dump or anything like that. So naturally, I don't care where they get their retro games. If they buy them from me, that's great. But if they buy them from a local thrift store and support a local charity, that's even better. And then they can clean those up with stuff that's around the house for free. If they want to get serious and open them up, we do carry security bits that allow people to open them up and actually use a copper cleaner to really get them nice. As a sort of a special item off to the side here.
I'm definitely curious about this because this reminds me, looking at the graphics, this reminds me of going to the arcade playing Tron, playing Asteroids. Tell me what we have here, Mark.
All right, so this is a Vectrex. This was in 1982, 1983, in the early era of Atari 2600. And you're right, it's just like an arcade machine, and that it actually, let me turn it for you a little bit. It actually has a vertical screen. The screen is built in. It's an all-in-one unit. And you can put your hand in the back as a little handle to carry it to your buddy's house, and the controller snaps into the bottom.
Almost reminds me of a Mac Classic 2, one of those early Macs that you just picked up and moved and stuff. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Vectrex, had about 20 games. A great idea, just a wrong time, wrong place sort of situation. But it's neat to see how many kids can come along and play it. Let me reset it for you, so it goes to the first screen. And there are little kids who will be playing this and enjoying it quite a bit.
Mark, I think there's nothing more appropriate than the title of your website, videogamemuseum.com, because I'd imagine some of these items are very rare to find in working order.
This is pretty rare, yeah.
In the decades to come, I'd imagine you're going to be taking very good care of your collection. But it may be the case that 30, 40 years from now, these will be historic items that will be literally in a museum somewhere, or you may be the curator at the museum. But yeah,
that's a personal dream. So, but the step right now is being a personal collector and promoting personal collecting, teaching people good care techniques for their own video games. Every comic book collector here at Comic-Con and every retro gamer wants to essentially have a museum. So we want to empower them to do that and help them a little bit with that passion.
All right, wonderful. Well, there you have it. Thanks so much, Mark, for your time and very comprehensive overview of the videogamemuseum.com. And again, we encourage folks to go to videogamemuseum.com to be educated about the intricacies and the magic of old school gaming. So thanks again, Mark, for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.